Morning Altig TV, world's greatest sales force. Matt McBride reporting up from Saskatchewan, Canada with a road trip out of the Calgary office with my man
Skylar Popowich.
I just wanted to quickly flashback with you guys. So back in May of last year, I actually won the personal recruiting contest. Fast forward to the September to remember, one of my personal recruits actually won that personal recruiting contest with like 12 personal recruits that month. And now Skylar is one of his personal recruits who we're hoping is going to blow off the next one. So I'm just going to get him to share with you guys on his strategy on how he personal recruits, because he already has 4 or 5 people in the pipeline and he loves to share the opportunity. So let them know a little bit about how you do it.
Hey, Altig. So Derek actually worked with me in construction a few years ago, and he stayed on me as soon as Matt offered this opportunity to him. It took a few months, but finally I came around when I got laid off in November, and I'm so thankful to Derek for keeping on me and offering this opportunity to me over and over until I took it. So now I try and do the exact same thing. I actually have 3 in my pipeline down in Edmonton doing Oliver's Learning right now, and 1 so far in Calgary. So it doesn't matter where they live, what walk of life they're from. I try and offer this opportunity to everybody I can, everywhere.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, sharing the opportunity, none of us would be here if it wasn't for somebody sharing that opportunity with us. So really important. One of the big things that he mentioned actually is the walk of lives, right? I mean, I'm from the oil rigs most of my life. I'm actually a math calculus most of my life. I know Skylar's a tradesman with a journeyman Red Seal. Our office is filled with engineers and actors, and there's all kinds of different walks of life. So never let that limit you to your sharing the opportunity, for sure. So one other thing I wanted to mention to you guys really quickly before I let you go is last month in ABC down in Las Vegas, I was actually lucky enough to win the award for the top ALP per sale in all of Altig Orlovich. And I was just asked to share a couple of pieces with you about how I actually maintain these big programs and how I get them built and how I protect families the way that I do. So I'm going to break it down into 3 categories for you guys. So if you have a pen and paper, definitely jot this down. I hope it helps. The first one is needs analysis. So within the needs analysis, we all have the EAP program, which is amazing, but it's really our job to build the needs analysis in the home, and this comes down to a couple small pieces. The first piece is the Hour Power program. Now, when you're reciting the part of the Hour Power program of the script to the member inside of their home, it's really important to emphasize what the Hour Power actually does, how it's made, and really what you're doing. Outline it on a piece of paper. Show them that they're setting aside $45 a week. This program you're going to show them is based on. Make sure it's very, very clear before you finish that piece, before you move on to the rest of the presentation, because if you don't make it clear enough and you're just kind of rambling off the script, it's not going to be very effective. The second thing is tailoring the program to their specific needs. You really need to tailor these programs to the specific needs of the families. All the families have different walks of life. All the families have different situations, different sizes, different family members, and it's really important to tailor that program specifically to that family. Okay? Otherwise, you're just kind of being generic, you're not being as effective as you could be, and you're not really protecting families the proper way either. Another piece of the building needs analysis is starting big. Now, I recommend all my guys never start below $40 a week no matter what. So if you got to use the 1 hour per week or you got to use the 2 hours per week, really depends on the family situation itself. But you never start below $40 a week. That's a minimum. Now, personally, I started about $240 to $280 per month. Which is usually about 60 a week, give or take, almost always, because I really want to show an adequate program that shows the power of AIL and shows the power of our protection that we can actually offer families. Of course, you always down close. It's very important to make sure it's maintainable and it's helpful to the clients. You never want to hurt family members in any situation, but it's also very important to show the power of our programs and what it can really do for families. So that's the needs analysis part. Now, the second part that I always set up and that I always keep in mind anyways is showing a well-balanced program, because you really want to protect their investment within the program. I know for myself, and I know for a lot of people that I've talked to, keeping small programs isn't really... The small bills get cut first. And I always got taught an analogy that when you're a business corporation, you got to start making expenses. You always tend to cut the postage first for some reason. It's like 0.5% of your expenditures for the month, but you tend to cut those small bills first because it doesn't really have value. And when you look down at your monthly statement and see $199 a month, you remember that it has value to you and it's actually worth it to your family. And it protects the residuals. It also protects the investment of the family to really keep the program for as long as they need to for it to pay out, so that they actually get what they need to out of the program. And the last thing is understanding your products and understanding the actual types of protection that we have for families. If you don't understand all of the products, if you don't understand how they're all working and how they all can be used, make sure you go out and get that training. The script is very specifically oriented towards a couple of the products because they are the best products in the world. I truly believe that. But without having that outside scope of really generally knowing what the rest can do and how they can help families, you're really limiting yourself and you're limiting your agency. So definitely make sure that you understand the products that we have to offer and the protection we have to offer families, because it could dramatically help you and it could dramatically help families. It goes back to the needs analysis. If you're building a proper needs analysis, you're going to be able to use a couple every once in a while that you wouldn't normally use. So make sure you stick to that script because it's very, very important, and that's how we do our business out here. And make it your best week ever, Alton.